free agent contract, and he drives one deep to right field, and that's a no-doubter. That might reach the doggone highway. Huh.
What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. I am back from Arizona, and we are ready for some more MLB recaps. I am so excited. There's something about going to spring training and seeing live baseball that gets me so energized to talk about this stuff, because I was feeling a little bit burnt out and baseball hadn't even started, but I am back. It was an injection of energy. No, not steroids or anything of that nature, so your boy is not on PEDs, although I am losing weight, which is awesome. So if you guys want to lose weight with me, try and do that. But we're going to go ahead and talk about Bryce Harper. He is a little peeved about the Astros. We also have former Astros pitcher Collin Mchugh. He just signed with the Red Sox. He is ashamed for not being brave enough to speak up against the Astros. Miguel Cabrera, Mr. Miggy, he is raking, as well as Chris Davis, Yohan Moncada. He got some chicken tenders. That's just, slang term for he got his money. And also Mike Trout had his first home run of the spring. So we're going to talk about a lot today. Make sure you guys subscribe. We're so close to 170,000 subscribers. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save $20 off if you're going to any spring training games or any games anytime soon. And without further ado, Bryce Harper talking about the Astros. Let's just do it. Actually, real quick before we get into Bryce Harper talking about the Astros, did you see this home run a couple days ago? If Bryce Harper goes back to MVP Bryce Harper, the 2020 Major League Baseball season is going to be the most exciting that I can remember. I mean, it sucks that Aaron Judge is injured. We'll talk about that as well. But if Harper is playing well, if Mike Trout is doing his thing with Anthony Rendon, and the Astros being the brand new villains with Garrett Cole and the Yankees, oh yeah, this is going to be exciting. And I haven't even talked about Mookie Betts on the Dodgers, but yeah, Bryce, he did not miss this baseball. But I'm going to go ahead and shut my mouth. We're going to go ahead and roll the clip. If you guys want to see the full thing, I'll go ahead and leave the link in the description down below. It was on a Facebook video. It took me a long time to try and figure out how to download this, so the quality might not be that great, but just close your eyes, listen, because Bryce Harper, he had something to say about them.
The guy that comes up in his debut, or the guy at the end of the bench that goes out there and he pitches, and they have your signs and they put up 7 runs on you, and they send you down after one start and you never come back.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is too is maybe you bought a house and you can't afford that now, or maybe you got a kid and you're not affording that now. So I mean, those are the real life things. Those are the things that now going through it and things like that. Those are the things that I think about. Those are things that really bug me or piss me off. That those are real life things. That's not fake. Like, this game is our game. Like, if this game is taken away from you at one point, and you're gonna be sad and you're gonna be upset, but you still have your family, you still have your friends and things like that. But some guys, you get it taken away and they have nothing. You have nothing to go back to. They didn't go to college or anything like that. They're banking on, being a professional baseball player for a long time, and some of them will never get that chance because the Astros put 8 or 9 on it.
If you guys were wondering if we talked about the Astros in Arizona in the podcast with John Boy Clevenger and Bauer, yes, we did. Now, again, I'm not going to go into too much depth, but you guys will have to stay tuned for that. I also didn't record any for myself just because it was really cool, and I wanted to experience that situation, not have to work. So, again, I'll come out with that content a little bit later. But also, Collin Mchugh, a former Astros player, he came out and said this.
It's tough. I've thought about it a lot. Because, like I said, a lot of those guys are real close. We're still really close friends, and I feel for them because it's going to be a tough season. It's going to be a long road ahead, and I know it's not going to be an easy road for them. And looking back and seeing how hard pitching is in general in the big leagues right now, I think this is the most talented group of players that's ever been assembled in Major League Baseball, and I think that's without a doubt. And so pitching every day in the big leagues, no matter who you're pitching against or what team you're pitching against, is really hard. It's a grind. And to put myself in the shoes of the guys who pitched against us in 2017, and to know that our hitters made that job that much harder that year, it's hard to swallow. And I feel for them, and I understand the anger. I understand when people are mad and pissed off, and I get it. I've been there. I know what it feels like to be out there and feel like a team has your signs, and it's a lonely place. So I think from that perspective, knowing that that happened to some of my fellow pitchers that year, I understand, and I empathize with them and with the fans. And I think about watching baseball as a kid. Like I said, I'm a huge baseball fan, so watching baseball as a kid and looking at those guys and looking up to them and wanting to be just like them, I think probably the most disappointing thing is that probably what we've said to fans throughout this process, and I think it's setting the wrong example, because I've learned and I know that in order to be a good baseball player, and I don't mean a talented baseball player because there's a lot of talented baseball players, but a good baseball player and somebody that I would want to look up to as a kid, or to be a good husband or a good father or just a good adult in this world, you've got to be brave. You've got to be willing to stick up for what you believe in and what you believe is right and what you believe is wrong. And I think a lot of the guys on that team, including myself, are looking back now and wishing we had been as brave in the moment as we thought we were beforehand.
So at this point, I don't really have much to interject in terms of this conversation. Like, I've pretty much said my piece. I've said how I feel about the Astros. I've said how the game feels about the Astros. Now it's just really reacting to the superstars. And honestly, Collin Mchugh, he is not a superstar, but he is a pretty good pitcher. He was great back in 2017. He did miss some time with injury, but when he was back in his prime for the Astros, he was a pretty solid 2-3 starter. And I think he's going to be a pretty good pitcher for the Red Sox. I think they need that, especially the fact that Chris Sale, he might be out for a little bit of time with some arm injuries. We'll have to go ahead and comment that in just a little bit. But speaking of guys that are going to make a comeback just like Collin Mchugh, dude, Miggy is raking right now. So if you guys did not watch the Tigers versus the Yankees game, Garrett Cole was on the mound. Miggy took him deep twice. The Tigers had 9 home runs in one single game. Now I know it's only spring training, but then when you combine and add on, Chris Davis is 6 for 12 with a couple home runs. I am praying to the baseball gods that the Dodgers have an amazing season, that the Yankees have a great season, that Chris Davis and Miguel Cabrera have comeback years, and that Bryce Harper plays like 2015 MVP Bryce Harper, and that the Astros, that they're probably going to be good. There's so many storylines to focus on, and I'm so excited, so ready for baseball. So if you missed the Chris Davis home run, I got you, because it's kind of nice. I hope that he actually plays up to the contract, because he's pretty much robbing the Orioles of money. So in some other news, I feel, oh man, the Yankees, God, what is wrong with the injury woes and their training staff? I thought the Yankees had a brand new training staff in New York, but apparently they just cannot seem to figure it out. So a couple months ago, Aaron Judge dove for a baseball and he actually cracked a rib, but they didn't know it. They kind of misdiagnosed his whole situation, and now 4 or 5 months later, Aaron Judge is now going to be on the shelf. So we have Aaron Boone talking about it. I'm going to show you the dive before we get into that, because it looked like it did hurt. He was wincing quite a bit, and I can't believe that he's dealing with it this many months later. Just really weird. What is going on in New York?
Tough diagnosis to find, so that's what we're dealing with. It does, it's probably an injury that dates back to September when he dove. Retest to show how much healing is going on.
And then 2 more quick little injury notes I do want to bring up. Andrew Miller of the St. Louis Cardinals, he is pretty much saying that he has the yips. So he's going to take off some time because he doesn't have that feeling when he throws a curveball or a slider. He's just kind of letting it go, and he doesn't feel like he used to. So he is experiencing the yips right now. And then Oscar Mercado, he is day to day. He injured his right wrist. He sprained it, and yeah, it's just the injury gods in spring training. They just need to go away, because I'm not trying to have all of these superstars on the shelf to start the season. It sucks. The last 2 things I want to talk about real quick. Again, I am just so excited and pumped up for baseball to be back. I mean, even though it's spring training, there's just so much to talk about, and I cannot wait for you guys to be, here for the actual Major League Baseball season. We're going to talk about baseball every single day for the next forever. Also, MLB The Show 20 is coming out, so I'm hyped about that. Just a great overall mood. Yoan Moncada is probably feeling good as well. He signed a 5-year, $70 million extension with the Chicago White Sox. Easily one of my favorite players in baseball. And then also, last but not least, Mike Trout hit his first home run of spring training. So we're going to roll a Yoan Moncada clip as well as a Mike Trout home run. We talked about a lot today, so make sure you guys tell me your favorite part in the comment section down below. Remember to use code FUZZY to save yourself $20 if you're going to any spring training games, because honestly, I went to Arizona. A hot dog combo was $20. So get that on me, save yourself some money, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, because we have so much to talk about, so much. Catch you there. Peace out.
2-1. Yoan drills it. Deep right field. Bring him home. We're tied at 6. On Trout. This one is crushed. Left center field.
3-run shot for Trout, his first of the spring, and the Angels have a 3-1 lead.
And number 27.